Hey guys, so this is a fast little tutorial that's going to teach you how to actually download an assignment, work on the assignment, and then submit the assignment for a grade. So I assume everyone can now log on to edX and view the areas that is called programming, where you'll actually see the assignment. So within that, you'll basically see these like two tabs. One tab says download lecture notebooks, and in the little fine print here you see that it also says that the programming assignment should be there, so that's a big hint onto what will happen with this page. And then on the second page is where you actually will upload your completed homework. You have to wait for kind of the software to load for a bit, but then you get to here that has this upload button. Once you click that, you then will upload your assignment. Once you upload, it just automatically submits, and it's really as easy as that. The hardest part should be doing the homework, not, uploading it and getting your grade for the homework. So, first part should be self-explanatory, which is clicking the button that will download your homework. Well, and the lecture notes, of course, because really before you even start the homework, like at the beginning of the week, you should download this stuff just so that you can then go through the lecture notes, understand the material, and then do the homework. So we downloaded our homework. Then let's move it to somewhere on our computer that's, doesn't have a million files like downloads. And we decompress the zip drive, I think is the correct terminology there. All right, so now we see that we have the directory on our computer, and we have the notebooks from the lecture, as well as the homework notebook, in this case called homework HW_1. So now we need to actually work on our notebook. Best way to do that, of course, is to use Jupyter. Probably the only way to do that, actually. So I assume at this point that everyone here has Jupyter on their computer. So we open up our terminal. This is for Linux. I think doing this in Windows should be roughly similar. Slightly different commands for the terminal. So now we have to go into that notebook here, week 1, just using the terminal. So that should be cd documents, cd week 1, hit tab to have the entire thing appear. And from there, that would be a good spot to start Jupyter Notebook. Oh, hey.
So I have two things to show you. This is Matt.
Hey, sorry about that. That was Professor Freund walking in. In case you're wondering who I am, I probably should have started with introductions. My name is Matt. I'm kind of the person who works on the software and kind of builds these edX course for you guys. Okay, but so back to the tutorials. So we just created the Jupyter Notebook, and so now with Jupyter, you can actually, view the lectures, which you really should do. Like for this first week, you really need to read the What is Probability notebook before you start the actual assignment. But then, assuming that you read everything, you can then start the homework. So we click the homework, and we have some homework exercises here. And with this layout, this part's pretty important, which is don't modify the cells that don't have the word modify this cell. Changes you make to the other cells might be on your computer, but everything other than cells with the word modify this cell will be reverted back to what they were before. So if you import a package or whatever, it's not going to be there. And then you'll get all these errors when you try to use code from the package, and you'll get 0 on your homework, and you're not going to be happy. And yeah, so just work in the modify cells. So let's just see where they are. Here we see the start of an exercise. Basically all this up above is just setting things up. You see here we're just downloading some stuff, and then I'm showing you a command that you will be using in your homework, just to kind of help you guys out to get started. And in this homework you have an exercise that requires you to write some function called seek_sum. And we give a little examples of what the output of using this function should generally look like when you're using it. But here we see this word modify this cell. This is where you're actually writing this function. Here is where we put in what we think the answer should be. In our case, I'm not going to do it correctly because I don't want to give you guys the homework answer. So let's just do anything in here, like return this is definitely wrong. I don't think that will work well for this homework. And there should be another problem here, but I'm not even going to worry about it. And once you've finished your notebook, which at least in our case, I'm pretending like I finished it, what happens is you run the other cells, like the cell here, which basically just does some checks to see if you had it done correctly. If all the cells in the notebook run, then you get 100% and you're good. On our end, what happens is you send this notebook through the internet. There's this other computer that runs everything and sees if it works. And it actually runs a few more tests just to make sure you don't cheat and read this to try and figure out what the answer is. So don't cheat, because even if it works on your computer, that doesn't mean it will work on the server. But yeah, so basically these cells that say checking function, these are cells that run, and if they run correctly, you should see an output that looks something like this. If they don't run correctly, just like in anything in Python, you'll see some error, it will look red, and that will basically tell you that you did something wrong and that you should fix it if you want full credit for the homework. Okay, so we finished this notebook. Let's save by pressing Command S or Control S on Windows, and you see that it tells you that it's saved up here. Now that we have our completed homework, in our case, we are going to submit this homework on the edX interface. To do that, we go to the internet, the other internet, this internet. We wait for the interface to get itself up and running, and then we click upload. Now, are you sure you want to upload? Yes. Oh, so just so you know, you get a limited amount of shots at this. I mean, we give you, I think, 10 tries, roughly something around that number. So don't do this a million times. Make sure that you actually want to submit your homework if you're going to go submit your homework. All right, so we saved the one that we were working on under week 1 motivation homework. This was the one we were working on. We just click open. It will upload it right here, processing for a bit. And then when you close it, now basically it in the background is checking and submitting and seeing if you actually did it. It's submitted, and it basically has already graded the notebook, kinda. Your grade isn't recorded on edX or anything like that, but it's checked the notebook to see if it ran. I guess right now it's still checking. Down here you can see you shouldn't close your browser when this thing is happening. What this is doing, this waiting for a report, means that it's still working on it. Maybe you could close the browser, but I don't think it's advisable. And then when it does finish, just because this one's taking an oddly long time, you can eventually view your grades after the deadline. So after the deadline is over, you can click grades and you can view your grades. Obviously, the deadline isn't over yet, so you can't see your grade. And that really is all the steps to completing a homework. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope this explained all the steps in doing a homework. If you have any questions, feel free to ask the TAs. They might ask me, and we'll get back to you. All right, thanks. Bye.